Yes, go lay down. This whole video, go lay down.
Her very favorite food is McDonald's.
That's such a big answer. My name is Erica Garland, and I'm running for Denton City Council Place 5. It's an at-large seat, and I'm running because I feel like we need better representation. We need counselors that are focused on the core issues of the city, like safety and being a voice for neighborhoods, and just making sure that every resident feels heard and represented in a way that is both needed and wanted.
I would have taken her. She's so little. I would have taken her.
That's actually a great question that I am frequently asked. And the short answer is because it's important and it matters and a lot's on the line. I love this community. I love this city. I've raised my family here. It's given me a lot. It's given me my career. It's given me friends. And I think that Denton is worth fighting for. And that's kind of where we're at, where if we don't stand up and fight for our community and fight for our neighborhoods, Denton is going to change into something that I don't know is what we all want or what we all need. And so somebody's got to do it, and I'm willing to be the one to step up and do it. So everyone knows I was kind of a single mom in Denton for years. I raised 4 boys here. I really, really struggled. There were times that I worked 3 jobs. I worked nights. I worked weekends. It was really, really hard for me to just meet my basic needs and take care of my children. And so for a long time, I looked around Denton and wondered why we don't have better paying jobs, why we don't have higher paying jobs. I would see roads that would be torn up for months into a year. Then we would many times fix it and then go back and kind of have to redo it a couple of months later. And everything seemed really disconjointed. Just asking the questions of like, why are we doing this? Why did we put this apartment complex right here in the middle of this neighborhood? And just following, I guess, the breadcrumbs to who made these decisions and why. We know that the growth is coming, and we know that there are a lot of people moving to Denton. And so I just feel like we have got to start making decisions that are more aligned with the needs and wants of the people that have built their lives here and that are rooted here and raising their children here, instead of just kind of rubber stamping everything that comes along. Yeah, no, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I think at its core, we just have people on council that are using it as a stepping stone. And in that, they are not working together. They're not communicating. They're not working in a way that's the best interest of the city. Everybody kind of wants to, or I'll say certain individuals, want to have kind of their stamp. It's kind of like corporate America. If this isn't the position you're planning on staying in, you're trying to climb that ladder, you want to be able to put your name on something. And so when you have this disjointed push-pull with council that it's like, I'm going to vote against this because I don't want to see you be able to put your name on this, even if it's in the best interest of the city, you're not working in a way with each other that it functions and that's in the best interest of everyone. And so I think that's a big problem, is just the dysfunction that we've seen on council the last couple of years. I think we also need to do a much better job as to the economic development that we attract. For years, Denton has kind of gotten this reputation that we're hard to work with. So when big businesses want to come in that would bring not just jobs, but maybe careers to Denton residents, we've put so many kind of roadblocks in the way that they end up going to other cities. And I think that that's very much been a disservice to Dentonites in general, because we do have such a low area median income level compared to other cities around us. We have a high cost of living, but low wages. And so that's something that's really kind of held us back Many people like myself commute an hour to Dallas each day and just to support our families. And that's something that I would love to see change, is just where we have higher paying jobs. You know, we have a lot of warehouse, we have a lot of service industry, but we really need, you know, higher paying careers, living wages for people in Denton, because it's that commuting that causes our traffic issues, our infrastructure issues. And that's kind of what we see people, you know, complaining a lot about, is we're just not able to keep up. And so when Denton has kind of become like this bedroom city where people come here and they live, but they work other places, it just puts a lot of extra stress on kind of everything.
Commotion by the lady who owned the Chihuahua that the pelican had taken her Chihuahua.
Yeah, so that's a hard, and it's very complicated, because a lot of these locally owned, family-owned businesses, it's going to be up to them if they want to keep it open, and if they want to keep, you know, the rising cost of rent, especially commercial space, is a real problem. You know, that one's complicated, because as Denton grows and as Denton changes, you know, making sure that people stay engaged, and I think just making sure that the city supports small businesses and does things in a way that encourages them to be successful. You know, that's really important. I think that, I don't know, this one's hard.
It's complicated.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of times.
You want people to come.
Yeah, because it's like what happens is the success starts coming, and then that makes the need increase, and then it's like everything kind of shifts up, and it's really big box businesses that are able to compete with that. I think what we're doing wrong right now is we're just rubber stamping the same thing over and over and over. And that's what it's like. We need business and we need development. But we don't need, in my opinion, a vape shop on every single corner. We don't need a car wash on every single corner. Like, we need a more diverse portfolio of who we're bringing in, and really looking at it. And it's like, and looking at each kind of area within the city. And it's like, okay, obviously developers come in and they want to make the most amount of money as quickly as they can. And so if they buy a little spot of land, and they know that they can build an apartment complex, and that's the highest return on investment, that's what they're gonna do. But I think that, you know, that's where we as a city, we have to protect the integrity of the community and go, we don't need another apartment complex here. We actually need a grocery store, or we need a daycare. And I think that that's where we just have to be really intentional about who we allow to come into Denton, what our needs are, and what fits in the neighborhood in those communities. Saylor, leave people alone. Go lay down, lay down. You gotta lay down. I'm sure she's like, he's got animals. You know, when I think of the impact that I could have, and what I want to bring is just cohesive communication and working well together, and being someone that really listens and represents our residents in our neighborhoods. One of the ideas that I have that I've just always kind of wondered about is, you know, we have a really great airport here in Denton. We have a double runway. There's a lot of hangar space, but that whole west side of our airport has never been developed. I've been told the reason it hasn't been developed is because we don't have a road to access it, which feels like a underutilized economic driver that we're not really tapping into. There's so many high-paying jobs that are in the aviation space that don't require college degrees. You have aircraft manufacturing, aviation logistics, things like that. You know, McKinney Airport actually has an airline that has recently come in there. So they're now classified as an international airline, which is wild to me. Yeah, right here right down the road in McKinney. So I feel like, you know, one of the things that Denton has done is we have so many flight schools out there. We have, I think the last time I asked, there was like 7 or 8 flight schools. And so what that does is it creates this big kind of beehive buzz over our airspace. Do you want her to go outside? Saylor, do you want to go outside? Do you want to go outside? I think she does want to go outside. Okay, should I back up and kind of start over? One of the things at our airport right now is we have several flight schools. There's like 7 or 8 flight schools out there. And so what that does is that creates all these little airplanes that are flying over our airspace. It's just kind of a big beehive. And so when corporate jets or cargo jets come in and they want to buy, tens of thousands of dollars of jet fuel, they would more than likely, instead of having to, sort of work around a lot of little 2-seater aircraft or 4-seater aircraft, they're going to go to Alliance or Addison or McKinney and spend that money, which is valuable tax dollars. And so I think that, we really need to be looking at kind of what tools Denton has. Like, what do we have in our tool belt that we can use to be economic drivers that would maybe bring more jobs or companies that would provide better jobs, and kind of grab that low-hanging fruit and just make those small adjustments, and then just kind of adapt and see what it does. And then if it ends up being a good thing, we maybe adapt a little bit more and embrace it more. I think that where we make mistakes, not only just as individuals sometimes, but as a city, is we try to overcorrect. We see a problem, we see an issue, and we're like, nope, this isn't working, let's just scrap this and get rid of it. When really minor adjustments and minor changes are probably better suited to kind of adjust and allow people kind of the time to adapt and really, really see what's working and what's not. Yes, go lay down. Saylor, go lay down. This whole video, go lay down, go lay down. As residents, a little bit of it does fall on us. We have to kind of start carving out time. What often happens is something goes wrong or something happens that we don't like, and that snaps us awake and that gets our attention because we're like, wait, why did we do this? Who approved this? That's kind of what happened to me, which is when I started paying attention and asking the questions. And so I think for council, what they need to do is start listening and start really, going out and driving out to these places where some of these changes are being made, where either development is coming in. I mean, have you driven out and looked and for yourself, not just on the presentation from city staff, but have you driven out there and looked to see, does this make sense? How would I feel if this was going in my neighborhood? I think that that's how we could do a better job of just representing our community. Obviously, council's not ever going to, 100% get it right. People are imperfect and they're going to make mistakes. But I think that if the intention is good and the intention is to do the right thing, and we're not just kind of bending the knee to developers and, just rubber stamping the wrong kind of development in Denton, I think that on the whole, our residents and neighborhoods will kind of recognize that. And people know that the growth is happening. People understand that that has to happen, that we need more housing. But what kind of housing do we need? We need diversity in housing. It's not always just going to be apartments and maybe 4-bedroom brick homes. Maybe we need something kind of in the middle for people to kind of be able to continue to afford living here. So I think that for council, their responsibility is just to listen to the facts, to do the research, to be prepared, to listen to our community, and then just make the best decisions with the information that they have at the time. People can find me on my website, ericafordenton.org. You can also see me on Facebook. Of course, you can always reach out and text me. My number is out there. I don't mind sharing it. It's 940-465-3228. This is something that I am very passionate about. It's something that I feel like is very important. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your concerns are. And I want to help above all. So reach out to me and let's talk about it.